Yeah, so the technology that's behind this outage is called Cloudflare. It's one of the world's biggest cybersecurity companies. Effectively what they do is they act as a buffer between your website and the outside world, and most importantly, criminal cyber attackers. And what that means is that if Cloudflare has a problem, so does your website. We've seen this before. Cloudflare is a very, very large company. They're essential to kind of modern cybersecurity on the internet, but it's had problems before, and it's had glitches. It's a constant target of cyber attacks. And what's happened today is, the Cloudflare service itself has been experiencing outages for a number of hours today. And the company itself has issued a statement that implies but doesn't confirm that there may have been some sort of cyber attack. The company has indicated that there was an unusual, what it calls an unusual spike in traffic to one of its services that may have contributed to this outage. So there's a lot we don't know at this point, but we do know this is a pretty prolonged outage that also illustrates how important this company has become to modern cybersecurity.
And it feels as though it has echoes, Jordan, to July of 2024 when CrowdStrike went down, and it meant that airlines were delayed. A lot of Microsoft Windows run things couldn't operate. And after the aftermath of that, it was CrowdStrike faced a lot of issues, a lot of scrutiny that it took a while to work through, and maybe is still working through some of it now. What does it mean for a company like Cloudflare, for their reputation and for customers willing to use their software?
Yeah, Cloudflare, again, is one of the biggest and most important cybersecurity companies, in the world. Its market penetration and just the scope of its services, is really unmatched. And you're exactly right. What the CrowdStrike incident, showed was that these security technologies are deeply embedded inside digital infrastructure, whether that's websites or payment services or what have you. And in order to implement these security technologies, organizations have to allow the security technologies to do things at a very deep level inside their IT infrastructure. What that means is if there's an outage, whether that's caused by a cyber attack or just a technical error or a glitch or a bad update, what that means is that there can be really widespread ramifications. And what these incidents kind of highlight is the degree to which these security technologies, they work mostly fine. They mostly work okay. But when they go wrong, it can have really lasting ripple effects.
Well, Jordan, I'm really excited because in just over an hour's time, we're going to be speaking to Martin Schroeder, who's the Kyndryl CEO, a spin-out from IBM. They run a lot of these consulting for IT tech and infrastructure for companies. And he's going to talk about the immense amount of spending on AI that companies are doing. Is there a real risk that companies have been siphoning their spend and investment into AI at the sake of IT infrastructure, at the sake of things that would lead to issues like this in the future, just because of the way that investments are being made in mostly and predominantly and more often in AI?
Yeah, we don't know enough yet at this point to kind of articulate what happened at Cloudflare, but I can, comment on generally what I've seen in covering cybersecurity for, a pretty long time, is that, companies are, of course, investing a lot in AI. They're spending a lot of money on, developing internal tools, trying to improve their cybersecurity, trying to improve their defenses against hackers. But I talked to a lot of cybersecurity professionals, and what they've told me is that outside of kind of some fringe cases where hackers are starting to experiment with AI-enabled technologies, that they're just not seeing a lot of actual use cases of AI being used by hackers. So at this point, a lot of this is kind of like preemptive posturing, if you will, and trying to preemptively plan for potential future attacks using AI. But just generally, we haven't seen a lot of it. It could come to pass that, perhaps this Cloudflare incident was informed, or maybe there was AI involved in some way. At this point, we don't have enough information.